We respectfully request the Sangha of great virtues, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thính, vì thứ pháp hội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát cư ly khổ đạt lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đàn Thô Sư Chê Đô Ye Ơ La Hơ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tạng Đạc Tha Tô Ya Đà Ya A La Ha Đế Tam Miêu Tam Bồ Đà Tọa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jian wan jie nan zao yu, wo jin jian wen de shou qu, yuan jie ru lai zhe shi yi. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master YongHua, all monks and nuns and all good advisors of Emitofuo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Hòa Thượng Kiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, Ching Liang Đại sư, sư phụ sang人,各位出家人，各位上智师，阿弥陀佛。Hello everyone, today is the 20th of March 2022. We are gathered here to continue discussing the first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. Glad to have you here with us. We are on, slide 426. This is, I think, we're talking about the rulers of the cities, city rulers. So these and others acted as leaders, and they were as numerous as motes of dust in all Buddha worlds.
如是等而为上首，有佛世界为陈述。
427, as the last time we finish listing out the 10 names and the short list of the countless leaders from these Mahasattvas who were present at the assembly, Avatamsaka assembly, 428. They all had adorned and purified the palaces in which the thus come one dwelt throughout limitless and inconceivably many aeons.
皆于无量不思议劫，严禁如来所居宫殿。
Okay, so why did they become rulers of the world? And even after they become rulers of the world, these important functionaries in the world, in the universe, what did they do? In the past, they had adorned and purified the palaces Okay, so they adorn the way places. For example, you come to the temple, you put on your good clothes, you trim your beard, you don, the black and brown robe, the gray robe, or whatever robe you wear, or trousers you wear. That's not be sexist. And that's how you adorn. Not only physically adorn that, but you also adorn with your comportment. So that's why when you practice, you cultivate, and your skills increase, your samadhi level increases, and you're automatically are adorning the way places with your presence, because you bring this kung fu level to the way places. So, for example, here, you really don't amount to beans, basically amount to beans in terms of adornment. But think about it. You go to other way places, the kung fu is pretty high, so you are adding significant adornment to the way places, the other way places. I'm kidding. Don't take it so seriously. Jeez. Okay, so we are adorned by our comportment. We're adorned by our being. And we purify. Okay, they purify the palaces. Okay, they purify. This is how you purify the way places. You purify the palaces by using an air purifier. And you get rid of the COVID-19 and COVID-22. No? Okay? Oh, Brady disagrees. Brady, oh my God, you cannot purify with those machines. You purify by getting rid of your greed, anger, stupidity. The less cluttered your mind is, the purer your mind is, the cleaner your mind is. That's how you purify the way places and the palaces as well. Okay, so that's what you do. This is amazing. We're not talking about them having to go and making offerings of oodles of money and red cars and yachts and so forth. This is how they became rulers of the world. Okay, adorning way places and purifying the palaces. Okay, and not only they do it, but they do it repeatedly throughout limitless and inconceivably many aeons. So what does it mean? When you see this phrase here, throughout limitless and inconceivably many aeons, what does it mean? It means that, remember, any of you work in an assembly line, the kinds that, for example, prepares the chicken wings that we eat. God, Mary Jo, don't make faces like that. Live and let live. Just because we don't eat chicken wings doesn't mean we should judge people who do. Come on, embrace it. Embrace those chicken wings people. Buffalo wings is what they call it out there. So you see, when you work in those assembly lines, I saw such documentaries, by the way. The big poultry processors, they're like 3 or 4 biggest poultry processors. They farm out the chicklets to people, the small farms, okay, family-run farms. And these people would raise and then supply the grown chickens to these meat processors, poultry processors. So they have these huge assembly lines, okay? Somewhere in south of the U.S. or in a poorer part of the countries. And this is, by the way, these are multinational, these are international operations. So they have these things work out to a science, where so you have these lines, processing lines up that prepare chicken wings. And imagine for yourself, working in such assembly lines It could be a chicken wings, could be a car, could be electronics part. My point here is that you work in those places, you do repetitive tasks, okay? What happens? You don't think anymore. It becomes automatic. That's exactly what happened to these people. When they say, I'm going to adorn the way places, I'm going to purify the way places, that's what they do without even thinking. It becomes habit energy. You don't think anymore. That's how you create blessings. Now for you come to the temple, so, should I or shouldn't I? Let's see, today I still have to bring my wife for gelato. I better save some for the gelato, you know? Or the other one says, I need to stop by the market and bring back something for my one-armed wife. You see, you always calculate and thinking, these people say, I'm going to adorn, I'm going to purify places as if the same as I breathe. I don't think about it. Unlike Susan, who says, I better save my strength for dancing later tonight. That's not, strain ourselves too much, especially the legs. Okay, so this is the advantage of doing this in limitless and inconceivably many aeons. It becomes their nature is to adorn and purify the palaces of the Buddhas. It's amazing how you get close to power. Think about it. These people are like next to the Pope or something. Remember the Swiss Guard? Anyone knows about the Swiss Guard? Swiss Guard is a bunch of mercenaries. They're really mercenaries who are hired to protect the Pope. Did you know that? You? They hire, the Pope is in Rome, Italy, right? And they hire the Swiss guards. The guards, these people from Switzerland or whatever. Originally, they're from Switzerland. That's why they're called Swiss guards. They dress funny. They dress, like clothes are like in 13th century. They to hold these lances, these weapons from the 13th century. Okay? And the Pope's safety the Pope is totally dependent on the Swiss guards. So the Pope gets to know each and individual's guard, their wives, their family, their children, and so forth. And that's the kind of relationships between these people and the thus come ones. Think about it. What a clever way they got close to the Buddha. Have you thought about it? Huh? The Buddha depends on you for his safety. So the Swiss guards, by the way, 108 of them, something like that, 112, 100. Yeah. So the Pope knows them all by names. Cool? Same thing. Buddha probably knows all these limitless rulers by names as well. Fascinating. Oh, that's it? That's all they did? I was expecting more, but this is all they did. They purified and adorned the palaces. That's how they got there. Today, the society is so complicated. Cryptocurrencies, IT, and then invasion, war, javelin, stinger, missiles, and all those things. Here, these people, they do two things: adorn, purify. Speaking of focus. All right, any questions about this? Next, shall we learn the next group, how they got there, how they became big shots? Boop, boop, boop. The spirits, earth-ruling spirits are next. 431. Moreover, there were earth-ruling spirits as numerous as motes of dust in all Buddha worlds.
复有佛世界为成宿主地神。
Okay, these are earth ruling spirits, and they are in charge of, we see, they're in charge of your houses, the land you build your houses on, by the way. And that's how they delineate territories by the earth boundaries. So, for example, these are like kingdoms, if you will. They have their own territories. Every time we travel, we cross over territories or earth ruling spirits to the next one, to the next one, and the next one. Think about it. Huh? So if you have a little kung fu when you go, okay, you go and travel, they actually come out and greet you. You know what this is? You have no clues at all? See, you fail all my tests. What's this? Peter, what's this? Huh? Come on. Helen, what's this? If these people, they don't get it, I understand. But you don't even get this? You, what's this? You got to know this. If you don't know this, there will be the biggest disappointment for today, for me. Come on. Come on. Don't fail me. Don't you dare fail me. Anyone?
Money?
Come on, you're so obsessed, you're so one-track minded. Money, money. Yes, 8.
Is it a pestle?
Give the lady a chance.
It looks like a bell being rung.
Give it to her. That woman, the Pure Land woman. See, this. What is this?
Họ quan nghênh mình tới.
Master, they welcoming us there.
When presidents come to Vietnam, the communist government line up a bunch of people. They truck them all along the road, and they all wave the flags. American flags and Vietnamese flags, of course. 2 Vietnamese flags and 1 American flag. That's the scene I saw. The first American president who went back to Vietnam years ago, you remember who his name was? Huh? You failed me twice. These Vietnamese, they don't know the history lessons. Oh, how disappointing. Clinton was the first American president who went back and opened the doors to Vietnam for them, to legalize, to formalize relationship again. That's when the investment money poured into Vietnam. So, and that happened after Clinton visited Vietnam. So Vietnamese are very, very good. Wherever Clinton went, they truck people, for miles upon miles for miles. They all go. It's fascinating. The video, the news, is so fascinating. There are miles upon miles of Vietnamese women. No men. And children, of course. Okay? So that's what happens when you go to these places. For example, Master YongHua, he used to travel by bus from San Francisco to New York. When the early days of his Dharma propagation work, he's poor. So his disciple invited him to go from California to New York to discuss maybe opening a temple or something. And Master Shen was desperate. And I said, okay, well, someone's give me a temple, I better go. So what did he do? He hopped on a bus. He stayed in the bus. He took the Greyhound, okay, from San Francisco to New York. That's a 5 days, a weekday trip for you, okay? And guess what? The whole time, he didn't go to the bathroom. He didn't eat. No. Isn't it interesting? The whole time. He didn't spend a dime on food. Didn't go to the restroom. I can see not going to the toilet, but come on. Not even like watering plants. That Chinese monk is something else. He does incredible things. Think about it. He sat on a bus for the whole time. He switched buses only between. I have no clues. I couldn't imagine. What if he catches the wrong bus? I've been on Greyhound. It's very confusing. You go to these major hubs and you wait occasionally for a few hours, and they, you may miss the wrong thing. But somehow he managed to get the connecting bus right, and he never went to the restroom. He never ate. And so by the time he got to New York, his disciple greeted him, brought him back to his apartment, and what did he do, you think? Master YongHua, he crashed. He passed out. So, yes, go ahead, Q&A. Hello? Anyone there?
Oh my God, it was muted. I was gonna say that the seats are pretty small in the buses, so he couldn't even stay in full lotus. So he was probably uncomfortable just sitting regular, like in a chair on top of everything.
No, he was sitting in full lotus. The bus is maybe a little bit small, but I'm pretty sure he sat in full lotus.
Gold Mountain style, huh?
I used to sit in full lotus too, in seats in the trains in Taiwan and so forth. The seats are very narrow. So what you do, you sit very straight, your legs are straight like that, Daniel, and then the foot, you stick it out here, and you stick a little bit over to your neighbor's side, so that when the train or the bus shakes a little bit, you tickle them. So pretty soon, make sure it's not a woman, okay? So pretty soon, they couldn't figure out what happened. Because I would sit here, and then pretty soon the train would shake. So my neighbor would, and he would stand up and leave. Because it shook a little bit. Anyway, so that's what happened. So my point I was trying to make is that Master Sri was doing that. I'm pretty sure as he crossed the territory of these earth ruling spirits, they're going like this. I assure you. They send the people out. Female spirits. Well, it's kind of not. If you are not Buddhist, you do that. The Buddhists, you go like this, The Buddhists, actually, the real Buddhists, they kneel down, right? They kneel down, and as you go by, you bow. But spirits, we don't expect much from earth spirits. You don't find it funny. Okay, 433, specifically, there were Earth ruling spirit, pure flower, universal virtue.
所谓普德净华主地神。
Okay, so this first one, numero uno listed, is the spirit. Pure flower, universal virtue. So he practiced virtue throughout the Dharma realm. That's why it's universal. And now it has a pure flower that emits light. And the seers of the light bring forth Bodhi mind and tread the path. Okay, so that's his role. His role here is that he has flowers that brilliant, and this light here, when living beings see those lights, will bring forth the Bodhi mind. All right? And that's why they're in charge of these territories. 435, earth ruling spirit, solid blessings and adornment.
千福庄严主地神。
435, 36. For this spirit here, there's blessing will be solid, indestructible, and adorned. So I would brings to mind, we probably the price of real estate in San Francisco, in California, San Jose. It takes a lot of blessings, real solid blessings, in order to afford to buy land there. Okay, so this earth ruling spirits here built a lot of blessings. These blessings are indestructible. Okay, and adornment, the way of cultivation is adorned. Okay, this is the more you cultivate, the higher you reach up there, you get up there, the more you appreciate adornment, the more you appreciate, the more you're in tune with beauty. Okay? It's not just for philanthropy, for art lovers. Actually, you naturally appreciate those things. Okay? 437. Earth ruling spirit, wondrous flowers, ornamenting trees.
妙华严树主地神。
So again, here, 438, they have the spirit here who's in the past. The reason now he has wondrous flowers, ornamenting trees, is because that's his specialty. Okay, he used flowers like the people who bring flowers here, offer flowers here. That's what you do. Okay, that's what this earth ruling spirit did, ornamenting the way places. Okay. 439, earth ruling spirit, universally scattering the myriad gems.
普散众宝主地神。
440, so this spirit here scattered all sorts of gems everywhere as an offering to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Yes, 6.
For Min, Master, are these earth ruling spirits similar to Earth Store Bodhisattva?
No, they're different. Earth Store Bodhisattva is a great Bodhisattva or is a Mahasattva whose job is quite different, whose job is to save living beings. Okay, so he helps the Buddha doing the work, doing the dirty work, by doing the dirty work. Okay, by saving living beings. Especially those who cannot help themselves. So he's also offloading the Buddha's burden. Where these earth ruling spirits here, they are different. They practice primarily offerings, making offerings to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and to the Triple Jewel. And that's why this particular spirit here offered a lot of precious gems. So many gems. Gems upon treasuries of gems and treasures that now he's scattering. He has so much gem, he has so many blessings in the form of gems. It's not uncommon for when you read the stories of the Bodhisattvas and the disciples of the Buddha, that when they're elders who are very wealthy, very rich, they have stores of gems, gold, silvers, and precious gems. They would offer them to others. Give them away. They give away stores of gems and jewelries to the poor. Or Sudodana, the rich merchant who offered the way place to Shakmina Buddha. Remember? He's the first one who offered the Jeta Grove. Remember that story in Amitabha Buddha? Okay. Amitabha Buddha used to be constantly surrounded by 1,255 bhikshus among other people. And that's a lot of people. And so wherever they went, they would go alms bowl. What's the word for that? Alms bowl rounds to beg for food. And then they would live under trees. They used to live in the trees, meditate in the trees, in the element, okay, to shield them against the sun and the rains. That's all they have. So this Sudana, who is a very rich guy at the city, and he's one of the richest citizens in that city, in that capital city. I forgot the name, Vaisali. Okay, and so he was visiting a friend who was preparing for his son's wedding. Okay, so he went to the city, and at night, before the sun came out, before dawn, he saw a bright light in the horizon. So he got up. He said, "Well, is the sun up?" He said, "No." He then realized it's still dark, but that corner is still bright. So he followed the light outside the city, and he met with the Buddha. And that's how he said, "Oh, so it's Buddha who emits the lights." So he got to see the Buddha, and Buddha spoke Dharma to him, and it made him very, very happy. So he came back and said, "Where is your temple?" Buddha says, "Rosemead, Dharma, and He says, "But that's too small for you." You know what I mean? So he says, "You're a Buddha, you cannot be in that small of a place. Come on, what would people think of Mahayana?" So he said, "That won't do. Let me look for a place for you." So we went and looked for the best place possible in the capital city. He looked and looked, and he couldn't find anything suitable except for a grove that Prince Jeta owned. It's a huge, huge grove. So he came to the Prince Jeta and asked, "Can I buy this from you?" And the Prince Jeta says, "Are you kidding? I'm the prince. Do I look like I need money? Do I need your money?" and so the merchant Sudana says, "Come on, prince. This is for an offering to the Buddha, who is a guest honor to your father." Okay, so the prince says, "Yeah, it's my father. What do I care?" But Sudana is very persistent. That's how he became very rich. You cannot be rich unless you're very persistent. So the prince was was annoyed, so he says, I tell you what, I'll sell it to you if the price is you lay gold pieces on top of the surface of my land, then you can have it. And Sudana says, done. He left, went home, and called a bunch of Vietnamese women and said, you load all the gold pieces from my gold stores. And they went to the prince's grove and laid every single piece of gold on the ground. And I bet you Sudana later became one of these earth ruling spirits. And so he covered the entire surface of the grove, of the prince's grove. So he came and saw the prince and said, hey, can you sign over the title, please? The prince says, are you kidding? I was only joking. And he said, no, you will be a king soon. You cannot joke about these things. So the prince had to to sell the land to Sudana. But the prince says, but wait a minute. You did not lay gold pieces on my trees. Ha ha! How are we going to deal with this? And the Sudana says, I don't know. You name your price. And the prince says, okay, if you can act big, I can act bigger. Okay? I will give away the trees to the Buddha as an offering. So that's how the Jeta Grove was given to Shakyamuni Buddha, his first temple. Okay? And I bet you, in the future, that the Sudana will be one of these, if he's not already, earth ruling spirit. Yes, sir.
Are these spirits here on earth?
Which ones?
The earth ruling spirits?
They came from all over the universe. We cannot tell which one is on earth, which one is not. There are too many of them. They listed only 10, but actually they are from all over. Most likely, some would be on earth, but not all. Okay? It says, isn't enough land for all of them to rule over on earth. Anyone else? Okay. So they scattered all kinds of gems, like Sudana scattering gold pieces on the ground of the grove. Impressive. 441, earth ruling spirit, pure eyes contemplating time.
静目观时主地神。
442. So this guy here has pure lotus-like eyes in which she contemplates the time, that is the causes and conditions, in order to avert disaster. How's that? Isn't that interesting? So in this particular earth-ruling spirit, okay, no disaster, no earthquake, no tornadoes, no nothing. That's what they do. Yes.
I'm just wondering.
Is that ooh the thing? Is that Swedish? What is I know Z on tanks. We know what it means, but ooh is it Ukraine?
No, it's actually a band.
A band?
Yeah.
From Ukraine?
From Florida.
It's okay. Excuse me. And you were, your question was?
So are there spirits that look after the earth, like they protect the earth, like this one, to avert disasters on the earth.
Yes, absolutely.
So we can be assured that disasters probably won't happen here. Because it's kind of scary right now, you know.
Yeah, it's true. What it means is that the bigger disaster will be lessened, will become smaller. Smaller disaster will disappear. Okay, so for example, in California, you have like tremors every day. Okay, and there's no, knock on wood, no big ones yet. In the big cities, that is. Who cares? It's in like Ukiah or something. Who cares? You know what I mean? All we care about is Rosemead, San Francisco, San Jose, what else? San Diego. You know what I mean? That's all we care about. There's so much we can do. So absolutely. That's what happened. So in California, there's small tremors because the bigger ones have been reduced. And what is this thing? That's a good question. What happened to the big tremors? The big earthquakes, the cracks in the fault lines. What happened to them? They're supposed to crack. They're supposed to have some disasters in California. You know, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, they say, okay? So all we can do is delay it. As long as these earth-ruling spirits are around, we are still in pretty good shape, okay? But what happens to the big ones? Anyone? Have you thought about that? Because I wonder, I stayed up at night, said, is it going to be a big one now? I have no earthquake insurance. So expensive. Huh? Q&A.
I think you said that it goes somewhere else. But why is that? It doesn't make sense to me.
It goes somewhere else. And you disagree?
No, I don't disagree. It doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead. The old monk here has an answer for you. 3. No, it's not on. It's not, the power is not on. Test. Okay, it's on.
Con có cái đĩa Hòa Thượng Điêu Hóa giảng 42 thủ nhãn đó. Thì Hòa Thượng nói là khi nào tôi còn ở San Francisco là không bao giờ động đất. Còn nếu động đất lớn thì thành nhỏ, mà nhỏ thì không có xảy ra. Thì Hòa Thượng nói Hòa Thượng xài cái number 30, cái số 30, cái chuông. Hòa Thượng dùng cái số 30 để mà kiết giới cho nó đừng có động đất ở San Francisco.
Nhìn chả lá.
Cái chuông á, Jala.
Ding, 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 ding. You know. This is different from here, okay? Don't look at me like that. No, this is ding, 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 ding like this. The other one is like this. They're not Vietnamese. They don't understand what we do. Translation.
Master, I heard the explanation of Master YongHua about the 42 hand and eye, and he said that as long as he still stay in San Francisco, there could be no earthquake. If there is a big earthquake, it will become small one. If it could be small one, then he will make it disappear. So basically, he used the hand and eye number 30, the bell, to prevent it.
Okay? If he says so, the master says so, it's true. That's what he does. Guess what happens when the rest of you do it as well? It helps. It helps tremendously. You see, your practice, sir, of the 40 hands knife, which you don't, okay, is beneficial to a lot more people than yourself. Isn't it fascinating? This is what we do quietly. This is how you in the future will become earth ruling spirits too. Because it helps. We're helping creating this kind of blessings. If the earth quakes, if it doesn't quake here, then your blessings in the forms of the damages and destruction that were avoided. That's your blessings. Does it make sense? You save this building from cracking, you save a lot of money. And that's your blessings. You see that? You see, people are so confused that, I'm blessings in terms of money, how much money I make. No. The money you make is just physical manifestation of the blessings. Your spiritual blessings, it translates into money. It translates into red cars. It translates into a job. Okay? But the blessing is there. You take care of the blessings, and when this becomes whatever, will depend on conditions. So this is always a constant. You create, you make it bigger and bigger and bigger, and the rest is secondary. You see that? There's no point becoming a billionaire and trillionaire when the money is not going to do much for you. Right? That's not a good use of your blessings. That's all. So the point here is that as you help avoid these disasters, okay, that's how this earth ruling spirit accrued her blessings. It grows and grows and grows constantly by providing that kind of protection. Okay? Now, as Daniel's comment was, I don't know how you remember all this. I don't even remember what I said. He said that the big ones, if the earthquake, the earth is supposed to have a 7.1, 8.1 earthquake here in San Francisco or here in Rosemead, and it doesn't happen. So what it means is that earthquake is moved somewhere else. Because Master YongHua said, every year, I don't know you heard of this, Susan, pay attention. Every year, okay, these people get together and they decide this year we're going to have earthquakes at so and so and so. And they agreed on that. So there's a schedule, just like our Dharma events. Today is One Yin Dharma Assembly. Same thing. They decide today will be an earthquake in Rosemead. But guess what? There's a One Yin Dharma Assembly in Wade Mountain Temple. How would the old monk look if he stands there chanting the universal chapter door and he's going like this? What is it? What would it look? How would it look to Mahayana monks? Daniel, do you get the point? I'm sorry, I had to make a fool of myself, but I need to demonstrate to you. Because I can't ask him to demonstrate. Okay? So what happened is that while it's supposed to happen, the earthquake supposedly it has supposed to happen right today, this morning at 9 a.m. But he was bowing to One Yin Bodhisattva. Right? How would it look? One Yin Bodhisattva will also look bad. I said, oh my God. People worship me and they can't. How can they trust me anymore? How can they continue to worship me anymore? So you see, these earthquakes, even though they're supposed to happen as scheduled, but guess what? They are impediments, obstructions to them as well, not just to us. You see, these people, these dragons who are making the earthquakes are supposed to make it happen. But guess what? We obstruct them. That's why they can't do it. And what do? They said, if they're there, I'm going to go to Ukiah. You know what I mean? Where it's less obstructions. Or Seoul, I don't know. Wait, there's some obstruction in Seoul. Wait a minute, I can't say that. Okay, so that's what happens. So you notice that the big ones in California has been happening like away from the big cities, by the way. You notice that the last like 10 years or so? No big ones in big cities, okay? And then the big ones happen where? In the ocean. You notice that? Deep, like Kolinga and so forth, when, you know, it's Kolinga same as Ukiah, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Yes, 7. Now you touch her master's temple, she gets very upset.
Mô Phật bạch Thầy, theo nói Ngài Hòa Thượng Tiên Hóa cũng có cái bản lãnh rất là hay. Nguyện cái gì là có cái nấy. Thầy tu thì cũng ấy, giống Tây Tạng vậy đó. Người ta lại, người ta cúng kêu bằng mình không có thể tưởng tượng được. Mà tại sao mà không có nguyện đó là trong cái thế giới Tây Tạng đó, đừng có tiết phủ như vậy. Sao tôi thấy đó, tiết nó phủ mà người ta thấy khổ quá chừng đi. Tại sao mà cái vị thần đó không có bảo vệ cho những người dân chúng cho an lạc một chút xíu? Mô Phật.
Master, I noticed that Master Xunhua, whatever he vowed, and then it happened. And then now I wonder, like for the Tibetan people, the country was covered by snow, and then the people endure a lot of suffering. I wonder, like, why their spirit, the local spirit there didn't protect the people and then make the snow away?
That's a good point. Why not? Why not? Let's think about it. Let's look back in the history. Never mind about the Tibetans, because I love them. I love Republicans. I love Tibetans. I love them all. Okay.
Mô Phật bạch Thầy, thì Tây Tạng mình thấy thành rất là thành tâm, thấy nó lại Phật đó, lại tới rất là thành tâm hết đấy. Giống mình lại còn không có quỳ xuống mà lại người ta lại sát đất luôn, cũng căm phục những cái chỗ đó. Mà sao không có nguyện mà đừng có cho tiết phủ lên, mà mỗi một năm tiết nó phủ lên, người ta quá xa, mình thấy quá xa đau khổ đi, mà tại sao mà không có gơi được những cái đó? Giống bây giờ mình đạo Phật ở đây nè, giống mà sư phụ nói mình sư phụ ở đâu thầy, đất nước mình an toàn tới chỗ đó là cái đó mình đã có. Rồi tại sao mà Tây Tạng nó không có cái nguyện đó để cho vị thần, chắc mấy vị thần đó ngủ hết hả?
Don't offend her, please. You're asking for trouble.
So, no translation, Master?
No, translate. This is important. This woman is whining.
So, Master, I noticed like the Tibetan people, they do practice very sincerely, and then like, for example, bowing. A lot of us don't even kneel down and bow, but then I saw that they even lay flat on the floor when they bow. And then, like Master Xunhua, he said like wherever he go, and then he will bring peace and happiness and good thing to that area. So I wonder, like with the Tibetan people like that, they're very sincere. How come every year the whole country was covered in snow? The people undergo suffering. What happened to their spirit? Are they sleeping?
I have a lot of respect for the Tibetans, for Putin, for everyone, okay? Okay, so I'm not going to comment on Tibetan or Putin or anything, because I'm told not to talk politics. Okay, but I can tell you, I give an example that might make sense to this woman here. Take your teacher, Master YongHua. Let's be real. Let's forget about the other people. Let's talk about your teacher. He has so much power, so much wisdom. Why did he have to run away from China? He had to go away from China. He could not function in China. He had to come here. He could have said, hey, earth ruling spirits, do your job. He couldn't, could he? So why not? For example, another example, never mind about China, just talk about Rosemead. We talk about doing good things, we talk about helping your neighbor, talk about helping our family and friends. Okay? How many people really do that? How many people really believe that? Only a handful of you are doing this, are promoting this, are supporting this, are advocating this. What do the rest do? Come vandalize my temple. Steal my cars. Try to steal the cars here in the parking lot. So you have a handful of people trying to do good, and the rest is do bad stuff. That's what happens. So that's called common retribution. If the majority of the people do bad things, then they're supposed to undergo the retribution. The small group cannot do much. That's what Master Shah had to run away. He says, we outnumbered. Okay? Let's find somewhere where you can regroup and continue our mission. Because the environment is not conducive to it. So you have to go to a much more suitable environment, that's all. Similarly, it works both ways as well. If the dragon is supposed to make the earthquake here in Rosemead, okay? It has been scheduled already. But if he goes, and all his peers support that, they all agree and say, this year, Rosemead right there, near Del Mar and Highway 10. Okay? Right there. We're going to do a big one. Okay? And the whole team, the whole management team, executive team sign off on that. They all agree. Every year they do that, okay? Okay, they sign off on that. When the time comes for this dragon to do it here, okay, he has to deal with the earth ruling spirit in Rosemead. So far, so good? He says, no problem. Because it's the earth ruling spirit. What's the big deal? Okay? But then he runs into one Dharma assembly with an old monk who's only standing 1 foot. How will it look to the rest of the dragons? This poor monk here, who's going to go to the Pure Land, and plus that woman there, who's going to see Amitabha Buddha very soon. Number one right there. What if she goes, and if happens today, happens, and she goes today? You know what I mean? And she's upset. She's telling Amitabha, hey, I was with the old monk. And here, we are here seeing you. This is not supposed to happen. And they upset. They say, Amitabha Buddha, that dragon is no good. Oh boy, that's not good for the dragon, is it? Not good because now that dragon's mom and dad don't get to go to the Pure Land, do they? It's complicated. It's not that simple. Yes, you may have that, but you also have your families, your dad, your ancestors. That's what you think again. Should I or shouldn't I? So since I'm supposed to make the earthquake happen here, and it's scheduled, everything is set already, okay? But since we can't, do it somewhere else, that's all. So we keep our people employed. Number one.
Mẫu Phật Thầy, Tây Trạng mấy năm trước con có đi qua rồi. Thì hồi xưa thì nghe nó khổ đó, hồi đó Phật giáo đang phồn vinh thì Trung Quốc nó vô nó phá, nó không có cho. Nhưng mà người mà lãnh đạo thì bỏ chạy đi. Cuối cùng gian ở trên cũng rất là khổ, nhưng mà họ rất là tu tâm. Họ tối ngày họ cúng Phật, cũng cầu Phật mà cúng hoài. Kiếm 100 thì cúng hết 60-70 Phật. Còn nhiều sống rất là đơn giản. Mà thấy họ cũng rất là thoải mái. Họ chết họ không có không vô mà chôn, khiêng cái xác để cho tuốt trên đứng núi lửng á, trời dạch. Nhưng mà ánh sáng với mặt trời mà phơn thời gian khô cái họ đẩy xuống núi đồ cho nó làm phăng luôn. Họ nói cái này là theo Phật đi tu rồi đó. Không có chôn, không có gì hết. Mà dân họ rất là hiền tới không biết cách mà nói sao, rất là ăn phẳng thủ thừa. Bởi vì thấy họ cũng rất là ăn cũng là tốt. Hai là từ đó họ cũng rất là thành tâm mà cúng Phật. Mỗi khi mà Phật đản gì hả, trời ơi, dân chúng hả, mấy trăm người mà nó sắp hàng cúng, quỳ cúng tới trên núi lửng luôn á. Mà trong khi không khí rất là ngột ngạt, phải đeo cái khu khắp á mới tới trận được, chứ không có là ngộp thở đó. Con thấy họ sống cũng rất là bình yên, không có gì hết trơn. Họ quen rồi thầy ơi. Họ thành tâm lắm, không biết không cách nào kể nổi luôn á thầy. Mô Phật thầy.
Master, a few years ago I visited Tibet, and then I saw that the life over there is like a lot of hardship because they were invaded by China, and then their leader flee away from the country. So the people undergo a lot of suffering, but I saw that they really focus on practicing. They really devout Buddhists, and then they make a lot of offering to the Buddha. So for example, if they earn $100, they could spend $60, $70 to make offering to the Buddha. And then they live a very simple life. And I saw even after they die, they don't even have a place to bear the disease. So they brought the disease up to the mountain, have the body dry up, and then they use the body as fertilizer. So they don't even bury it. And then I saw that they have devout Buddhists, and then whenever there's a big Dharma assembly, a lot of people gather together. And their life is not easy at all, but they get used to it, so that's why they have a very peaceful life.
Yeah, they're very good. It turns out now they're doing better too. Over there, the economy is far better. People are much richer, have more jobs and so forth. This woman here, just for your reference, next, when she goes to the Pure Land, she goes to the Tibetan quarters. You know that. Yeah, she will. There's the Tibetan quarter in the Pure Land. Okay, so are we done with the earthquake, or are we still discussing back and forth? Yes, 6, go ahead.
For Min, like the earthquake, other natural disasters will happen the same way?
Yeah, all natural disasters will be averted because it's this earth ruling spirit. Okay, because he says, I'm here. This is my territory. I know it's supposed to happen, but I prefer not for that not to happen. What are you going to do about it? That's the attitude. Go ahead, 8.
Master, I have someone I know through my work who lived in Santa Rosa during all the wildfires.
Yes.
And
a couple of years ago, right, where they burned like blocks and miles of,
Yes. He woke up and didn't know what woke him up, but he saw a glow out the window, and he just jumped out of bed and told his wife to run, and they ran to the car, and there was a firestorm flying down the hill to his house, and they just made it out within seconds in their car, but they lived in a neighborhood where there were 8 homes, and none of the other families made it out, just him and his wife.
Wow.
And they went and stayed with friends, and then when they were cleared to go back to the area, his wife went back, and there was nothing left of their property except for ash.
Wow.
Everything was completely, except for one item. In the ashes, there was a Buddha statue.
Buddha statue.
That was untouched.
Tibetan Buddha statue.
And it was intact, and so they took it and brought it to their new home. They're not Buddhists. They just happen to have this Buddha statue on their property.
Yeah, I see.
And it was the only thing that survived.
Yeah. Wow, how interesting. Clearly, that fire god is Buddhist. It's a fire. The fire is creator of a fire god. The fire spirit. Go ahead, Ukraine.
So
we stand with you.
A lot of people these days are scared about nuclear war, nuclear fallout, and is it possible that these earth ruling spirits are going to protect and make sure these human created weapons won't destroy the earth?
It's possible. They could protect them and push them off to, again, northern, a little bit further up here, without naming any city names, being with you. I'm joking. You guys are so serious. It's possible, but it's rather complicated because there's so many variables. So, for example, it's supposed to happen, everything is fine, it's supposed to happen, the disaster is supposed to happen, and guess what? President of Russia just shows up in the last minute. So it changes everything. You see? Or president of the Earth Federation of Galactics. Okay? So it's a very fluid thing. It's not as simple as you think. It's very complex, like the weather, like love, marriage. Very complicated. Yeah, so it's not for sure. But the point here is that there's functionalities where this earth ruling spirit is supposed to do that. That's why he's there, is to protect the residents. That's the jobs. That's the job description, that you protect, okay, the residents by helping avoid disasters. And apparently, this earth ruling spirit does a very good job, very powerful. That's why he's still there. Hasn't been demoted yet. Yes, 7.
Mô Phật và Thầy, nói về nãy cái chị đó nói về cái ông thần lửa đó thì mình nghe thần lửa là cũng có ông thần lửa. Chắc là Tây Tạng là cái ông thần tiết á, ông thần tiết nó mạnh quá, nó lớn quá. Bởi vì nó bảo vệ những cái tiết á, bởi vì giống mình cái người đó cái phước nó cũng lớn lắm nó mới ở được chỗ đó. Giống mình vậy chắc ở chỗ đó chắc 3 ngày chắc tiêu quá.
Master, I heard about the story about the house that burned down and talk about the fire spirit. I think maybe in Tibet the snow spirit is very, very powerful, so that's why they caused the snow there every year. And then the people live there, probably they must have a lot of blessing. Otherwise, if it's my case, I stay there for 3 days, I probably die already.
Yeah. Listen, let me explain to you the complexity of the question. You only look at one angle. There's a lot more behind the scenes. Okay? For example, for the fire to ravage Santa Rosa, that created that kind of destruction is from the karmic retribution that's supposed to happen there. So these people are supposed to pay the price of destruction. Right? There's a price here that actually occurred and that to be borne by the residents of that territory. So far, so good? That's just life. Now, Master Shino, for example, could say, no, it's not going to happen. Guess what? When it happens? There's supposed to be destruction there, right? And it's none. So what happens? What does it mean? And now the earthquake moves to 10 miles off the coast of California, let's say. Or the fire burns somewhere that's really minimal damages. Okay? So now you have this amount of damages is supposed to occur and it didn't occur. What happened? How is it possible? Have you thought about it, Daniel? Huh? Where is the balance? Remember, the plan for the universe is that supposed to be destruction worth X amount of rubles. I mean dollars. And it didn't happen, right? So what happened? Yes, you.
Well, would it be possible to pay back the destruction with blessings? So we cultivate blessings and we pay for the destruction, the debts with our blessings?
Absolutely. If it didn't happen, it's because the destruction is not physical, but the blessings of the person who provides protection. Does it make sense to you? You only see the house is burning. You don't understand it in terms of blessings. The house burning is your blessings being burned up. It's not, that's a real story behind it. Do you understand, Jim? The house is only a mirror image of something that you cannot see. What props up the house is not the earth, it's your blessings. Does it make sense? Am I the only one who understands this? Go ahead. To help me out.
Master, if Master Shinwal was alive during that time, would it have to take someone of his magnitude to be able to pay off the blessings? Someone that high level who could have prevented something, let's say, in Santa Rosa.
Okay. 7, go ahead. The disciple, Master YongHua. The spy number 1.
Mô Phật Bạch Thầy. Giống Ngài Hòa
system.
Thượng Tiên Hóa ngày xưa còn đó, Thầy nói là mình ở cái nước ở Cali này với Xăm Hoan đó, Thầy động đất bao nhiêu chấm, Thầy Ngài dám thốt lên một cái câu lời nữa, Thầy Ngài ở đâu Thầy chỗ đó nó an lạc tới chỗ đó. Thầy mình nghĩ đó, Thầy Ngài đó cũng bảo vệ đệ tử của Ngài rất là nhiều, bởi vì Ngài mới nói một câu đó, mới bảo vệ cái nước cái San Francisco đó, mới bảo vệ. Thầy Ngài thốt lên một cái lời mà hồi đó thốt lên một cái lời đó, ai nào cũng ông này nói chuyện gì mà sao kỳ quá vậy, nói chuyện tiên thần không à, mà người ta không có hiểu Thầy ta nói gì. Thầy thật ra Ngài là
And it happened. It happened. Translation.
Thầy mình đã có rất là phước báo, mình mới ở tới an toàn tới như vậy, mô Phật.
Yes.
So, Master Xunhua, back then in San Francisco, there was a lot of earthquake, and then it's supposed to have such and such earthquake happen, and then Master Xunhua declared that wherever I'm at, that place will be safe and peaceful. So a lot of people heard about it, they didn't understand and say like, he speak nonsense, but he did that in order to protect his disciple and protect San Francisco. So clearly that like the blessing provide us safety nets.
Very good. But let me help you understand a little bit better. Okay, why is there an earthquake in Rosemead? It's because collectively in Rosemead, it's due to happen because our combined karmic retribution. Yes? Agree? That's why it has happened in Rosemead, for example, because we deserve it. We asked for it. So far, so good? Okay. But it didn't happen. It moved to somewhere else because the other one, they don't have the same protection. Okay? Santa Rosa, for example, you something, you know, they don't have the protection. So far, so good? That's why it happened. They moved to somewhere where there's no protection. Is that clear? That's point number one. Number two, for the protection to happen, how is it possible? It's because the blessings from the protection make up for the losses. It's supposed to happen some losses. If it's not from you, it's going to be from the protector, el protector. Does it make sense? Otherwise, the world would be out of balance. Destruction, losses are supposed to happen. It didn't happen because it was settled. So the protection came at a cost that you don't have to bear. Someone else has bear it. Because he is only standing 1 foot. You see? Someone has to bear the thing. You understand point number two? Point number three. Why can't Mr. Shen or Master Shenhua excuse me. Stay in, let's say, Mongolia and do its propagation. You know what I mean? 2 reasons. Let me explain to you 2 reasons. Something I know I don't expect you to understand this. This is important for us to understand that you cannot force it. When you protect them, yes, There's things being forced. Yes, he can save Mongolia and provide protection so that he can teach and train people and people can fly in and so forth. But that comes at a cost. Agree? Because that's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to be able to do that. And yet you're able to, therefore, there's some protection somewhere. Okay? And go against the grain. Okay? So that costs blessings. Agree? It's not free. Right? Of course, you can go and do anything in, let's say, North Korea you want, but at a cost. You can assassinate him, you can give him, you can build a new skyscraper. It all comes at a cost. It's not free. Okay? It's not happening because it's not the best use of the blessings. Is that clear? Because if you go against the grain like that, you consume a lot more blessings just for the protection. And then you have fewer blessings to do your work. So that's why it's better off to go where conditions are more appropriate. So that's why he left China. Where conditions are, it's less expensive to do his work, to his blessings, number one. Number two, it is not obvious to you, but he needs people like yours truly. He needs to transfer the knowledge. That's much more important. People like him, teachers like him, have to look for students. He has to go where the students are, or make sure the students arrive, or have access to him. See that? And I try to tell you, but the students are here, those who can make it here. Not necessarily Americans, those who can make it here were taught by him. Daniel, are you impressed? Go ahead, JMT. Go ahead, concubine dear. Don't be shy. My husband says, you talk too much, honey.
세라님 일단 메시지를 좀 봐주시면 될 것 같고요. 네네. 헬로 마스터. 헬로 마스터. 어떤 사람이 그냥 구체적으로 세라님 여기서부터 다시 할게요. 그러니까 부처님께서 이제 자기의 제자들을 구하기 위해서 장소를 이동하듯이 또 제자들도 부처님을 돕고 도와야 된다고 생각을 하는데 여기서부터가 질문인데 제가 보낸 메시지에 어떤 사람이 똑같이 제자가 부처님을 위해서 일을 한다고 하더라도 A라는 장소에서 일을 하게 되면 10의 에너지가 소용이 되고 B라는 장소에서 하면 그것의 절반인 5의 에너지가 든다고 하면 물론 여러 가지를 고려해야 하겠지만 A에서 B로 이동해서 일을 해야 하는 것이 지혜로운 일이 아닌지 좀 더 구체적으로 얘기하면 A라는 곳의 공업 때문에 개인의 업이 하향 평준화 된다면 이동하는 게 지혜로운 게 아닐까 질문드립니다.
Master, I understand Buddha helps disciples in order to do that he changed location, as well as disciples also wants to help the Buddha and they change locations. My question is, let's say one person live in location A, but due to the common karmic obstructions, in order to work in location A takes about 10 times energy versus another location called location B. It takes only 5 times of energy. So is it wise to move from location A to location B, which spends less energy to do the work?
Such a hard question. Yes, 9.
Master, if she asks Master to move to Korea, I hope that Master will stay in America so we can go.
You go to Korea, I don't go to Korea. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, I say Master will stay in here.
And you go to Korea?
No one go to. Let Venerable XZ go to Korea.
Yeah. Send Master Z instead. Okay. Well, sure. If it's more convenient, move to B. Life is short. Move to B, and it doesn't work. Move back to A. What's the big deal? It's not the end of the world. Okay. If it's better for you, family life and overall, then move. It's a lot more than just simply money or location or time. It's also, are you going to be happy? You will find the kind of food you like. And all sorts of things. Will Master Z be there? Things like that. So it's a lot more than that. So that's why it's difficult to say definitely A or definitely B. It depends. Yes, 8.
Master, can you explain how individual obstructions would be addressed in a collective setting? As such, an earthquake would be affecting people in an area which maybe include Buddhist thinking and devout people, as well as others. How is it that our religion is based on our personal obstructions from karma, but yet that is going to be influenced by a massive earthquake, and other people may or may not have the same karmic obstructions or the same level of karmic obstructions?
There are always variations, no fixed rule at all. I'll give you an example. Long time ago, a Buddhist disciple, very devout disciple, who lived in Canada, Montreal, and they have a huge storm there that basically you lose power to blocks, city blocks in Montreal, long time ago, okay? And so it was drastic. They lost power for like weeks. And people died because they have no heat. They cannot get food, they cannot move around, and help did not get to them. This person's, is scheduled to fly to Master YongHua's temple for 4G. But for some reason, everything has been arranged. For some reason, in the last minute, he couldn't make it. So he had to stay home. Okay? And the snow, the blizzard occurred. And it shut down entire city blocks. So many blocks. It's a funny thing is that he lives in an apartment building, his condo, and his condo is the only section of the building that has power. So that's an example for you of a common retribution called snow blizzard, because his personal protections, he's not affected by that. It's amazing. one apartment. That's it. That's spared from that blizzard. Wow, that small section there of the grid for blocks upon blocks upon blocks is spared from the blizzard. You see? So that's why it's very hard to say there's a hard and fast rule about these things. It's about you accruing your blessings and you see it for yourself. It's impossible to describe it. It's only one rule. Do good, accrue blessings, and don't worry about it. That's all. You never lose, trust me. When you plant blessings, it's there forever until you use it. Your blessings in terms of houses or cars get stolen, houses get snowed in. You have no protection. But blessings are always there, always protected for you. It's like in a vault, the crypto wallet. Anyone else? In an interesting life, from a Buddhist perspective, it's so fascinating. It's so much more multidimensional. And simply said, "Oh, I lost $1 million, or I lost, my wife, or I lost something." Go ahead, Q&A.
So, using a credit to not make the earthquake happen, that makes sense to me. The part that doesn't make sense to me, and I guess I assume that transferring the earthquake would be to another population. So that's where it's what do they have to do with our karma, for example? But I guess you can send it to the ocean, right?
Yeah, think about it. Of all places, I give you point number 4. Of all places where the earthquake could be moved, okay, there's so many people here who deserve to get an earthquake, especially those near Rosemead. Okay? Right? So we say it's supposed to happen in Rosemead, but that, it's very simple. Rosemead and San Gabriel share the same grocery stores. So let's move it to San Gabriel. Rosemead has enough grocery stores. Who cares? We have Huabin, we have G&W supermarkets, San Gabriel superstore, Ralph's. We won't have any problems. It's the San Gabriel people that don't have as many stores as we do. So it's, just move over and you shrink the area a little bit so that you can still create the same amount of damages, right? And who cares? It's the next, my analogy is the next territory, right? Who cares? You area, who cares? Okay? But it didn't happen there. It happened in a remote area called 20 miles, 60 miles in the midst of the ocean with no damage whatsoever except the corals or sharks. It's compassion, my friend. Because how could you provide protection? You, Master Xuanhua, you provide protection. Okay, so this is my territory, this is my temple, and so forth. Don't you dare. I don't care. You go to San Gabriel, I want to tell you go to you something. Okay. But then you are indirectly responsible for it, aren't you? Where's your compassion? So that's why it has to happen in a deep ocean. Okay, are we done with earthquakes? So disasters. It's interesting, isn't it? Today we're learning that these disasters actually, they're good people, rulers, our rulers. See, they're rulers here who provide protection to us. That's what good things happen to us. Don't think that, I own my property, I'm the boss. No, you have something superimposed over it called earth ruling spirit. Don't be so narrow-minded. Next. Earth ruling spirit, wondrous forms and supreme eyes.
妙色圣眼主地神。
444. Commentary. This particular spirit here, what does she do? Causes grass, plants, and trees to grow on earth, making it beautiful so that everyone is delighted by the sight of the landscape. Do you have photos of Dharma treasury after we weed it? Huh? You guys have that? Can we share it? Okay, while they're working on it. When we went to San Francisco, there's some land in front where it's overgrown with weed and all kinds of junk. And it's a lot of work. It's been like that for months. 3 or 4 months, 5 months, 6 months or something. Okay, my first reaction, I don't care. Okay, I don't care. I need a temple. I don't need outside. I need inside to work. Look at outside Wei Mountain Temple. See, I care? Huh? 4 years now, it hasn't changed. It's just as bad. So somebody up there, up north, says, but it looks bad. So let me get a gardener I know to go fix it. I say, I don't care. Do you have it? What happened in those photos? We have so many texts and photos and emails every day, trust me. A few days, we're overwhelmed. We lose track of what is what, who's who, from who. I tried to look at those photos the day before yesterday. I couldn't find them either. It should be a quick search like Google Photos or something. So anyway, so somebody volunteered. Instead of having the old monk do it, in a month or 2 or 3, okay? That lay person says, let me get a gardener I know, come up there and fix it. Okay, so the guy went up there and worked on it. Got a crew, went up there and worked on it. And the results are photos. You should have those photos ready to have a folder called Transformations. You have them? You found them? See, don't pressure her. So this earth ruling spirit here, okay, is landscaping. Makes life pleasant, pleasing to the eyes. The point is that what pleases the eyes is so important to us. You have to go beyond, go deeper and see what is the message here. Why these earth ruling spirits choose to focus on landscaping. You get my point? Isn't it interesting? We chant, people say, what do I care? Why are you so attached to forms? Why are you so attached to appearances? But people are not like that. If you want an earth ruling spirit to take care of your cities and take care of the Buddha's palaces, It's landscaping. You got that? Have you found the photos or not? Okay, let's show you photos for you. We have something like before, after, or after only. I don't care. After only. Look. Ta-da! Before, it's like a jungle. And I saw it when we bought the temple, like sometimes in October, November, something like that. Okay? And I never saw what the ground looked like. I just bought it. Okay? And now I realized, hey, there's landscaping here. Actually, it's some walking stones. Huh? Actually, it's actually landscaping designs here. Isn't it interesting? The old monk, he was up there for a week. He covered about this much of an area. Remember? Huh? And so I yanked him out and said, let's go down and get ready for your doctor's appointment. 2 days. So it will be another 3 months before the rest will be done. Okay, so look at landscaping here. They spend money doing landscaping. What a luxury. In San Francisco, you have landscaping? It's nuts. I would rather have a building here. I'm Chan. I need space to work. I don't need pretty things. But isn't it interesting how important it is for normal people to have eye-pleasing things? That's why you have an earth-ruling spirit that says, I'm going to take care of landscaping for the entire city. My entire territory. Are there more photos? Just one photo. See? Look at this. Before, it's like one big green piece messy green piece. Now you actually have trees, you have flowers. And this is from the other side, where you can see how there's meandering pathways here. There's some benches here that people can walk the dogs out here. They can do their business here in our pathways. They can sit down. I'm pissed off about this, by the way. Now they walk in. Before they said, it's too dangerous, look too dangerous. There might be snakes in here. The whole thing probably infested with snakes and toads and whatever. Now they can see where they can go, the dogs, and do their business. And next, we put a pile of fertilizer right here. Actually, the people are nice up there. They pick up after their own. Unlike Lu Mountain Temple, when you walk around Lu Mountain Temple, look down. That area, Lu Mountain Temple, they don't pick things up. Here it's not so bad. Here people actually, you see people picking, the poop up. San Francisco, you don't see it. Well, I saw one pile when I walked around. One pile. But see, this is where all the dogs go to do their business. Isn't it pretty? It's nice. This is expensive, you know that. This costs money. Everything in San Francisco costs money. It's nonsense, if you ask me. Okay, so this is, and from the other angle, you see. So again, this is on the right-hand side. Okay, huh? Hey, Tibetan person. And by the way, I'm told this is what the San Francisco guide said, that go and look around properties around the city that have these kind of stairs, that there's what is it? Some sort of stories of deliberate landscaping for tourism or whatever. So this actually is part of the overall scheme to draw tourists to the city. And these fancy steps here. I don't have to zoom in here. It's actually it's cute. All right, huh? So advertising. When we ready, huh? Definitely. Come take a look, huh? In front, there's the ocean, okay? And this side is ocean as well. It's ocean. It's lots of water. This is what Ginny dreamt of a few years ago, 3-4 years ago. She says, Master, I dreamt of you having a temple near the ocean. And I laughed my head off. I said, you got to be crazy. Do I look like I can afford one? And he says, no, it's you. I saw you. It's not someone else. You. Ripped. Wait. Yeah. Come on, let me finish. Ripped, and there's landscaping in front of the temple. I said, you gotta be kidding me. A temple near the ocean that has landscaping in front? That's impossible. Koreans never lie, you know that. Isn't it interesting? It's a small world with all these forces, you know. And then the monk says, as soon as we started remodeling, he discovered a relic right there with all the witnesses. Okay? Something in the light brown color. Very, very important color. Brown. Light brown. Five people surrounded him. They found this relic here. Okay, and I was hesitating. Do I send this? Do I send that? Because now again, this is going to be California, no longer southern, northern. We're going to move people back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, okay, it's going to be one. Okay, and so I was wondering, do I commit to this person or do I, do another person, whatever? Because I need a skeleton crew. The people who will be there. And I couldn't make up my mind. And then Xianren found a relic of the same color. I said, "You're going." It's amazing, folks. We get so much help. The forces are incredible. Good thing I didn't believe Ginny 3-4 years ago. Otherwise, I'd be walking around. How are you today? And if I had a bad attitude, this would have not happened. I'm told there's a bigger one coming. Oh, please. Stand Barbara. You want to go to Santa Barbara on your mini vacations? Yes, 9.
Master, Santa Barbara only 2 hours away from here, so we certainly can go there.
3 hours, my friend. 3. He's wrong. He drives too fast.
Before photos.
Something before photos? Oh, excuse me. What's that? Here? Oh, before photos. Go ahead. No, it's the same photos. Look at that jungle. Huh? Look at that. And you know how much it cost that person? Over $1,000. 1,200. That's a lot of food for me, okay? Look at vegetation. No wonder the monk took 2 days to do one strip. As Xianqie says, I better not see any snake crossing my path. So that's why was Xianqie. Look at it.
So
and this is later.
This is when we first saw the property.
When we first came, it looked like this, and then it rained. That's when it became green. But this is how it looked like when we first got it, when we first came to take a look. And we were discussing, who is here? I don't recognize these people. Clearly, there's some short people here. And they were saying, should we, shouldn't we? This looks so bad. Oh, God. There must be snakes in there. Seven. Now the two old women, they contradict each other constantly. They're related, by the way, by marriage. Translation. Oh, she couldn't hear. Nói lại, lặp lại đi.
Mô Phật bạch thầy, giữa đó bao nhiêu mẫu đất hả thầy?
How big is that, Master? How many acres?
It's about 15,000 to 20,000 square foot. No, 12,000 to 15,000. It's pretty small. No parking at all. No parking whatsoever. So that's why, to me, this land is so important. Why would you do landscaping there? Okay, but yeah, that's him right here. The most recent one is this one here. That's him working, the old monk working. And then it cleared up like this. And that's the only place that looks nice. The inside is we need to change the floor. Okay, time is up. Any final last questions? Okay, thank you everyone. Yeah.